Pagani Zonda R, 15 built, zero compromises, the last analog scream of a dying era. There are fast cars, there are hypercars, and then there is the Pagani Zonda R. Born in the artisan workshops of Modena, Italy, this machine represents the absolute pinnacle of what happens when a visionary engineer decides to strip away every compromise and build a car with one singular purpose: to be the fastest thing on any racetrack it touches. The Zonda R is not a road car with racing aspirations. It is a pure-blooded, uncompromising track weapon that happens to wear one of the most beautiful bodies ever sculpted in carbon fiber. When the Zonda R first appeared at the 2007 Geneva Motor Show, the automotive world held its breath. Here was a tiny company, employing fewer than 50 people, unveiling a machine that would go on to embarrass the track day specials of manufacturers 100 times its size. At €1,460,000 before taxes, it was breathtakingly expensive. Yet every cent was justified by engineering that bordered on aerospace-grade obsession. What strikes you first is the violence of its purpose wrapped in undeniable elegance. The massive rear wing, the aggressive front splitter, the gaping air intakes. Every surface exists to manipulate airflow to generate the crushing 1,500 kilograms of downforce that pins this 1,100 kilogram machine to the tarmac. And yet somehow, through the genius of Horacio Pagani, it remains stunningly beautiful. The exposed carbon weave catches light like liquid silk. The titanium exhaust pipes rise from the rear like organ pipes in a cathedral of speed. The Zonda R matters because it proved something profound. It proved that passion and precision, wielded by a small team of dedicated artisans, could create a machine capable of rewriting the record books. It proved that a track car need not be ugly to be fast. And it proved that Horacio Pagani was not merely a designer of beautiful objects, but an engineer capable of producing genuinely world-beating performance. This is the story of one of the most extraordinary automobiles ever created. The origins of the Pagani Zonda R trace back to a deeply personal ambition held by Horacio Pagani. Having already proven with the Zonda S and Zonda F that his small company could build world-class supercars, Pagani wanted to explore the absolute limits of the platform. He envisioned a car that would serve as the ultimate expression of everything he had learned, a laboratory on wheels that would push materials science and aerodynamic engineering into uncharted territory. Development began in earnest in the mid-2000s, and the team quickly realized that achieving their goals would require far more than simply modifying an existing Zonda. Despite sharing the iconic silhouette that had made the Zonda a legend, the R shares only 10% of its components with the Zonda F. It is, in almost every meaningful sense, an entirely new automobile. New chassis, new engine specification, new gearbox, new aerodynamics, new suspension geometry. The familiar shape was merely the starting point for a comprehensive reimagining. Perhaps the most significant development was the creation of Pagani's proprietary carbon titanium composite material. This revolutionary monocoque bonded titanium and carbon fiber weave at a molecular level, achieving rigidity-to-weight ratios that surpassed anything available from conventional carbon fiber construction. The material was so advanced that it would later become the foundation of the Huayra platform, much as Ferrari once used the 288 GTO Evoluzione as a testbed for technologies that would define the legendary F40. For the engine, Pagani turned to Mercedes-AMG and specified the M120 V12 in its most extreme form. The GT112 racing specification derived from the dominant CLK GTR program. This was no ordinary road car engine with a few upgrades. It was a genuine racing power plant, tuned to deliver 750 PS at 7,500 RPM, mated to a magnesium-cased X-Track 602 sequential gearbox capable of shifting gears in just 20 milliseconds. When the concept debuted at Geneva in 2007, the overwhelming response from press and collectors confirmed that Pagani had created something extraordinary. Production commenced in 2009, and deliveries continued through 2011. Chapter 3, Where Art Meets Aerodynamics. Horacio Pagani has always believed that a car can be both a work of art and a feat of engineering. With the Zonda R, he proved this philosophy in its most extreme form. Every curve, every vent, every surface of the Zonda R was designed to serve a dual purpose, to move air with ruthless efficiency and to stir the soul with its beauty. It is a machine that refuses to accept the conventional wisdom that function and form must be adversaries. The design language speaks fluent aggression. At the front, a deep carbon fiber splitter reaches forward like the jaw of a predator, channeling air beneath the flat underbody and feeding the massive front diffuser. The bodywork measures 4,886 mm in length, 2,014 mm in width, yet stands just 1,141 mm tall, a low, wide, menacing stance that communicates purpose at a glance. Air intakes are sculpted into the flanks, feeding cooling air to the brakes and the roaring V12 behind the cockpit. The rear of the car is where engineering ambition becomes visual drama. The enormous adjustable rear wing dominates the profile, equipped with a sophisticated drag reduction system that automatically adjusts its angle based on real-time telemetry. When the car senses lateral acceleration exceeding 0.8 g at speeds above 100 km per hour, the DRS activates, optimizing the balance between downforce and drag. Below the wing, the quad titanium exhaust pipes are exposed in their raw metallic glory, a signature Pagani touch that transforms plumbing into sculpture. The interior continues this obsessive attention to detail. Exposed carbon fiber and machined aluminum dominate every surface. There is no leather, no luxury, no concession to comfort. The racing seat, the stripped dashboard, the sequential shift mechanism, everything exists to serve the driver and nothing else. Yet even here in this Spartan cockpit, there is beauty in the precision of the machining, in the weave of the carbon, in the way light plays across billet aluminum switchgear. Pagani proves that austerity and artistry are not mutually exclusive. The technical specifications of the Pagani Zonda R read like a manifesto of uncompromising engineering. At its heart sits the 6-litre Mercedes-AMG M120 V12 in GT LA12 racing specification, the same engine family that powered the CLK GTR to dominance in the FIA GT Championship. This naturally aspirated masterpiece produces 750 PS, that is 740 horsepower, at 7,500 RPM, accompanied by 710 Newton-meters of torque. In an era increasingly defined by turbocharging, the Zonda RS atmospheric V12 delivers its power with a linearity and throttle response that turbocharged engines simply cannot replicate. Power reaches the rear wheels through an X-Track 672 6-speed sequential gearbox housed in a magnesium casing, a material chosen for its extraordinary strength-to-weight ratio. Gear changes happen in just 20 milliseconds, a figure that rivals contemporary Formula One technology. This is not a paddle-shift system grafted onto a road car transmission. It is a purpose-built racing gearbox designed to handle the punishment of sustained track driving at the highest levels. The chassis represents Pagani's most significant engineering achievement. The carbon titanium monocoque is constructed from a proprietary composite material that bonds titanium and carbon fiber weave together, creating a structure that is both lighter and more rigid than conventional carbon fiber. Front and rear space frames are fabricated from chromium molybdenum steel, while suspension components are machined from avian AL aluminum and aerospace-grade alloy. Structural engine and gearbox mounting points use ergal machined parts. Every fastener and screw throughout the car is manufactured by Poggipolini from titanium. Braking is handled by a Brembo system featuring carbon ceramic discs measuring 380 mm by 34 mm at all four corners, with 6 piston calipers at the front and 4 piston calipers at the rear. A Bosch Motorsport 12-stage race ABS system provides electronic braking assistance calibrated for track conditions. The result of all this obsessive material science is a dry weight of just 1,070 kilograms, giving a power-to-weight ratio of 701 horsepower per ton. These are not marketing figures. They are the real numbers of a real machine. Chapter 5. Rewriting the Record Books. Numbers on a specification sheet are one thing. What a car does with those numbers on a racetrack is what truly matters. And the Pagani Zonda R delivered performance that stunned even the most seasoned racing professionals. The headline figure is an acceleration time of just 2.7 seconds from 0 to 100 km per hour. But in a track car generating 1,500 kilograms of downforce, straight-line speed is merely the appetizer. The Zonda RS top speed exceeds 350 km per hour over 217 miles per hour, a figure made all the more remarkable by the enormous rear wing that is optimized for cornering grip rather than top-end velocity. On a longer straight, or with the DRS fully engaged, the car could theoretically go even faster, but outright speed was never the primary objective. The defining moment came on July 26, 2010, when professional racing driver Marc Basseng strapped himself into a Zonda R and attacked the fearsome Nürburgring Nordschleife. Over the course of 20.8 kilometers of the most demanding racetrack on Earth, Basseng recorded a lap time of 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Running on bespoke Pirelli P0 tyres developed specifically for this attempt, the Zonda R obliterated the previous record for production-based cars. This was a tiny Italian atelier with a fraction of the resources available to Ferrari or Porsche, setting the benchmark at the most famous circuit in motorsport. The DRS system proved its worth during this record run, automatically adjusting rear-wing angle based on lateral acceleration readings. Through high-speed sweepers like Flugplatz and Schwedenkreuz, the system maintained maximum downforce, pinning the car to the track. On the long Dörtinger-Höhe straight, it reduced drag to allow maximum velocity. The 1,500 kilograms of maximum downforce, more than the car's own weight, meant that theoretically, at sufficient speed, the Zonda R could drive upside down on a ceiling. Later, the Revolution variant of the platform reportedly achieved an unofficial lap time of 6 minutes and 30 seconds at the Nürburgring, though Pagani never officially verified this extraordinary claim. Whether verified or not, the Zonda RS performance credentials remain beyond question. Exclusivity in the hypercar world is measured not just in price, but in scarcity. And by any measure, the Pagani Zonda R exists in a realm of rarity that few automobiles can match. Just 15 customer cars were built between 2009 and 2011, alongside a single prototype designated Chassis 000. 16 cars in total. That is fewer than the number of employees who built them in Pagani's Modena workshop. Each of the 15 customer cars was built to bespoke specifications tailored to the individual tastes of its owner. In the tradition of Pagani, no two Zonda R examples are exactly alike. Owners could specify paint schemes, interior details, and personal touches that made each car a unique expression of both the manufacturer's artistry and the client's personality. This level of customization, applied to a car that was already among the most extreme machines ever conceived, created 15 individual masterpieces rather than 15 copies of a single design. The production process itself was an exercise in handcrafted precision. Each carbon titanium monocoque was laid up by hand and cured in Pagani's autoclave. Every titanium fastener was individually torqued. The Mercedes-AMG V12 engines were hand-assembled in Affalterbach, Germany, with each unit bearing the signature of the technician who built it, the famed one-man, one-engine philosophy that AMG has practiced for decades. Assembly of each complete car took months, with artisans dedicating obsessive attention to every joint, every panel gap, every surface finish. The track-only nature of the Zonda R adds another dimension to its exclusivity. These cars can never be registered for road use. They exist solely to be driven at speed on racetracks, transported on enclosed trailers between circuits and private collections. This inherent impracticality actually increases their desirability among collectors who value purity of purpose. A Zonda R in a collection signals that its owner appreciates the car not as transportation or status symbol, but as a mechanical work of art and a tool for experiencing the absolute limits of automotive performance. With only 15 customer examples in existence, the Zonda R will forever remain one of the rarest and most coveted Paganis ever produced. Chapter 7: Icon of Digital Culture. The Pagani Zonda R achieved something remarkable for a car that most people will never see in person, let alone drive. It became a genuine cultural icon, transcending the insular world of hypercar collectors to reach millions through digital media and gaming. The cars. Nürburgring record lap, captured on video and shared endlessly across YouTube and automotive forums, became one of the most watched pieces of automotive content in the early 2010s. The sound alone, that naturally aspirated 6-liter V12 screaming through titanium exhaust pipes at 7,500 RPM, became the stuff of internet legend. Comment sections overflowed with listeners describing it as the greatest engine sound ever recorded, a mechanical symphony that no turbocharged successor could hope to replicate. For a generation discovering performance cars through screens rather than showrooms, the Zonda R became a defining object of desire. In the gaming world, the Zonda R achieved near ubiquitous presence across the most important racing franchises. It appeared in Gran Turismo 5, Gran Turismo 6, Gran Turismo Sport, and Gran Turismo 7, giving PlayStation players the chance to experience its performance virtually. The Forza franchise embraced it across multiple titles, including Forza Motorsport 3 via the AutoWeek car pack, Forza Motorsport 4, Forza Motorsport 7, Forza Horizon 3 with the Hot Wheels expansion, Forza Horizon 4, and Forza Horizon 5. Mobile gamers could pilot it in Real Racing 3 and Gear Club. In each of these titles, the Zonda R consistently ranked among the most popular and most driven cars in the game. This digital exposure created a fascinating feedback loop for Pagani as a brand. Millions of players who would never afford a Pagani developed deep emotional connections with the Zonda R through hundreds of hours of virtual driving. These virtual experiences built brand awareness and aspiration that traditional marketing could never achieve. The Zonda R helped cement Pagani's reputation among a broader global audience far beyond the narrow circle of traditional supercar enthusiasts. Today, it remains one of the most recognizable and beloved track cars in gaming history, a digital ambassador for the artisan excellence of Modena. Although the Pagani Zonda R was never homologated for any specific racing series, its competition credentials are defined by one legendary achievement: the conquest of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Known as the Green Hell, this 20.8-kilometer ribbon of tarmac carved through the Eifel Mountains of Germany has been the ultimate proving ground for performance cars since the 1920s. On July 26, 2010, the Zonda R wrote its name into the circuit's storied history. Professional driver Mark Basseng, an experienced endurance racer with extensive Nürburgring knowledge, was chosen for the record attempt. The car ran on bespoke Pirelli P0 tires developed specifically for this challenge, optimized for the unique demands of the Nordschleife's varied surface conditions, dramatic elevation changes, and mix of high-speed sweepers and tight technical sections. Bassing's lap time of 6 minutes and 47 seconds was extraordinary. It made the Zonda R the fastest production-based car to ever lap the circuit at that time, a feat that sent shockwaves through an industry dominated by manufacturers with budgets and workforces that dwarfed Pagani's modest operation. The significance of this record extended beyond mere numbers. The Nürburgring is the great equalizer, a circuit so long, so demanding, and so unforgiving that no amount of marketing spin can substitute for genuine performance. A fast lap time there requires not just raw power but exceptional chassis balance, aerodynamic stability, braking performance, and driver confidence. The Zonda R demonstrated excellence in every one of these areas over every one of the circuit's 173 corners. The evolution of the platform continued with the Revolution specification, which offered existing Zonda R owners a factory upgrade path. This program added 30 horsepower for a total of 780, along with revised aerodynamics featuring dive planes and a secondary rear wing, upgraded Öhlins dampers, and Formula One-derived Brembo CCMR brake discs. The Revolution variant reportedly achieved an unofficial Nürburgring lap of 6 minutes and 30 seconds, 17 seconds faster than the original record. Though never officially verified by Pagani, this time, if accurate, would have been extraordinary even by today's standards. The platform ultimately spawned the standalone Zonda Revolution model in 2013, limited to just 5 units producing 800 horsepower, representing the absolute zenith of the Zonda lineage. Chapter 9. A Collector's Holy Grail. In the rarefied market of hypercar collecting, the Pagani Zonda R occupies a position of exceptional desirability. Its combination of extreme rarity, technological significance, record-setting provenance, and the emotional resonance of the Pagani brand has created an investment profile that few automobiles can rival. When new in 2009, a Zonda R cost €1,460,000 plus applicable taxes. By 2024 and 2025, market values have climbed to between $3.5 million and $5.5 million US, representing an extraordinary appreciation over roughly 15 years. The most spectacular public sale occurred at RM Sotheby's Amelia Island auction in 2023, where a Zonda R in Revolution specification achieved a hammer price of $5,340,000. This sale confirmed what collectors had long known, that the Zonda R had transcended its original market position to become one of the most valuable modern hypercars in existence. Several factors drive this remarkable value appreciation. First and foremost is scarcity. With only 15 customer cars ever built, The Zonda R is among the rarest Paganis in existence. The broader Zonda market has demonstrated consistent annual appreciation of 4 to 7%, but the R, as the most extreme variant, has outperformed even this strong benchmark. The track-only nature of these cars means that most examples carry very low mileage, having been used sparingly at organized track days rather than accumulating wear through daily driving. Each car's bespoke specification adds individual provenance that further enhances collectability. No two Zonda R examples are identical, meaning that each car carries its own unique story, its own color combination, its own subtle differences in trim and detail. The Revolution upgrade path adds yet another collectability layer, as some owners chose to evolve their cars while others preserved the original specification, creating distinct sub-variants within the already tiny production run. For the serious collector, the Zonda R represents a convergence of everything that makes a car valuable. Rarity, performance heritage, technological innovation, artistic beauty, and the enduring legacy of Horacio Pagani's singular vision. It is, in every sense, a holy grail of modern automotive collecting. The lasting significance of the Pagani Zonda R extends far beyond its own remarkable achievements. It served as the crucial technological bridge between two eras at Pagani, connecting the beloved Zonda lineage to the Huayra generation that followed. Many of the innovations first tested and proven on the R, particularly the groundbreaking carbon-titanium monocoque construction, became foundational elements of the Huayra platform. In this sense, the Zonda R was not an endpoint but a launching pad, a machine that pushed boundaries so that future Pagani models could begin from a higher starting point. The car's influence on the broader automotive industry proved equally significant. The Zonda R helped establish the track-only hypercar as a legitimate and desirable market segment. Before the Zonda R, the concept of a multi-million-dollar car that could never legally be driven on public roads seemed absurd to many. After its success, manufacturers far larger than Pagani followed suit. Ferrari launched the FXXK, McLaren created the P1 GTR, and Aston Martin developed the Vulcan, all owing a philosophical debt to the precedent the Zonda R established. It proved that wealthy enthusiasts would pay extraordinary sums for the purity and exclusivity of a car built solely for the track experience. Pagani's own track-only lineage continued directly from the Zonda RS template with the Huayra R, which carried forward the philosophy of uncompromising performance wrapped in artistic beauty. The carbon-titanium material technology pioneered for the Zonda R influenced composite development practices across the automotive industry, demonstrating that boutique innovations could lead where major manufacturers would later follow. Perhaps the Zonda RS' greatest legacy is what it proved about Horacio Pagani himself. With this car, the Argentine-Italian engineer demonstrated that his company was not merely a manufacturer of exquisitely beautiful road cars. Pagani Automobili was capable of producing genuinely world-beating performance machinery, cars that could set records at the Nürburgring and pioneer materials technology that the industry's giants would adopt. The Zonda R showed that with vision, obsession, and an absolute refusal to compromise, a team of fewer than 50 craftspeople in Modena could build something that stands among the greatest automobiles ever created. It remains, and will always remain, a monument to what is possible when artistry and engineering are pursued without limits.